Well, listeners, we have got a very, very special guest on the show right now. And going right back to my start of music journalism, Des from DevilDriver was one of the first people I ever interviewed when I was working at Buzz magazine. Now we've got him on the phone again today to chat a little bit about this brand new album that is coming out, Volume 2 of Dealing with Demons. Des, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much for having me, man. I appreciate it. Looking forward to releasing this record and been doing interviews all day with Australia, which is awesome.
Mate, you have such a great love affair with Australia. So many Aussie people out there know and love your music. Have you been aware over the years of that love affair with Australia?
I mean, for me, it's the same way, and for my guitar player, Mike, it's the same way. He's a surfer. I'm a surfer. Like, we have a great time when we come down there, but I think that developed over hard work. And us keep coming down there with different bands and playing, sound waves and stuff like that. The one time that I really noticed it was, I don't want to say a few years ago, but during the last sound wave that we played and we released a record, we woke up that morning and we were number 9 in the country and Kanye West was behind us. And I said to myself, what is going on? And so, yeah, there's definitely something that's solidified between us and Australia. Not only that, when we come over, we tend to take Australian bands with us, local bands or what have you. We allow them to open, and I think that's just another part and parcel to being part of what the Australian culture is musically, So I'm very thankful. I'm grateful for that relationship,
Definitely. Now, Dealing with Demons Volume 1 became a very important album for a lot of people here in Australia as well. It came out when we were in the middle of some of the strictest COVID lockdowns in the world, and for a lot of people, they found solace in listening to that album. Was that something that you were aware of at that time as well?
Well, I was told many times, hey, this is not a good business move to release right now. Everybody's locked away. And I said, are you kidding me? Isn't this when people need music? I mean, this is all I do 24 hours a day is listen to music. I'm not a media guy. I don't sit down and watch TV for 5 hours a night. I listen to tunes all day long. I collect vinyl. I know every band that's from punk rock to goth to psychobilly to metal. I said, this is the time to give people music. And it bared well for the record. It came out in the United States right behind Lamb of God and Testament, I think number 3, number 4 over the course of the year. It debuted very high everywhere else. So I proved people wrong that people wanted to pick up music. But not only that, here's what I feel good about. The fact that I gave people music when you were locked in your house and when you needed metal the most or when you needed something new the most, a new movie, a new anything to do, we gave it to them. I'm really proud of that fact, man. And I think it was a great record to give because Dealing with Demons 1, Dealing with Demons 2 is actually dealing with the different demons that we all deal with as humans. Doesn't matter if you're a grocery store worker or you're a singer of a band. We all deal with the same things, right? The person that stabs you in the back, the temptation around you. There's so many demons, right? I mean, I got sober in 2016 off of alcohol. That's a demon. There's so many things to talk about. So I think it was good to drop this record at that time. And for people who don't know, Volume 1, Volume 2 is very ambitious. Anybody in a band who wants to do a double record, it's extremely ambitious. These records were supposed to drop back to back, year after year, 1 year apart, and they did not. There's several reasons to that. So now dropping this thing in 2023, when I'm healthy and I'm out and I'm touring, feels great. And the reception to this record, now that people are actually hearing it, because it sat on ice for 2 years, which is a difficult thing for an artist to do. It's like painting a painting and not saying anything to your friends for 2 years. So like just keeping it locked away. And 2 years from now, they all come over for dinner and you're like, oh, by the way, check this out. I did this 2 years ago. And they're like, what? So, sharing this thing now, I think is appropriate. And it's just, it's been getting overwhelming praise, which, is fantastic. And I'm very humbled by.
Des, you talked about bringing out a double album being such an ambitious thing. Take us back to 2018. I think that was when you first announced that you had 40-something tracks to go. What was that songwriting process like? Like, was there something in your life at that moment that just made you become such a prolific songwriter at that time?
I said to myself and the rest of the band, this is the time for the double record. You want to do a lot of things before you take a slow walk from this life, right? And when I mean this life, I mean actually touring, making music. Double record is one of them. The recording process works just like this. Hey, we're making a double record. I want to keep this thing short, 38 minutes at most per record. They're meant to be listened back to back. I don't want them long, and I want them all killer, no filler. So we have to overwrite, and we certainly did. When it came time to sequencing, we threw a lot of stuff out, and to make sure that this thing was volatile and visceral and all the words that you want to hear along heavy metal, but also deep and different. And the sequencing came about by listening to the songs and by democracy, really. The only one thing that I put my foot down on is actually what song is going to open the record. I've always, my whole career since 1994, kind of dictated what song will open a record. After that, it's everybody's free-for-all, go ahead and sequence. And I think the writing process was like, hey, bring some songs. Oh, that's great. Let me put some lyrics. That's great. Let's get in a room. Let's jam. Okay, this is working. And we knew we were onto something after the first 4 or 5 songs, but then after that, it really carried over. And I actually said to my band, too, look, we're going to leave 15, 20 songs on the table probably, and we're never coming back to these. And I never want you to revisit these riffs, and you'll never hear me revisit these lyrics either. Okay? Let's pick it out. Let's make it. Let's compile it. And let's make it right. And here's the fact why. And you're going to probably agree with me. I think the listeners will agree to me.
Definitely.
I could name several bands, many bands actually, that go make a double record, and the second record is all B-sides and leftovers. And you can plainly hear it. The conviction is not there. The songs are not up to par. And it's certainly not what I wanted. And in fact, when we were releasing Dealing with Demons 1, I said in the press, if you remember, I personally like Dealing with Demons 2 better. And there are several members that actually like Dealing with Demons 1 better. But I was ready to release Dealing with Demons 2 like the day we released Dealing with Demons 1. So here we go. Ambitious, double record. They're meant to be listened together, 2 together. They were meant to be back-to-back, but they're not. They're skewed by years now. And it's just great to be releasing this and having people hear it and doing interviews where people are saying, I mean, I had a guy in Germany, which I don't know if the Australians know anything about Germans, but they're terribly hard to please. Okay?
Yep.
And he actually said to me, he's from a huge magazine, and he actually said to me yesterday, Des, I just want to be honest with you. And I said, sure. And he goes, and don't take this the wrong way. And I went, oh God, here we go. He goes, this is the best record I think you guys have ever done. I think musically, lyrically, sonically, the best. And I just, at that point, my wife was listening, Anastasia was listening to the interview, and I looked at her and she goes, I told you.
Yeah.
Like, cause she knew as well that Volume 2 was just an incredible record. So I hope people really enjoy. It's kind of a personal dive into the Dealing with Demons world. And what I say to that is, doesn't matter if you do podcasts or you're a singer or you work at a grocery store. We all deal with demons every single day. We all deal with the demons of, I want to stay sober. I want to stay away from temptation. I want to do this. I want to do that. And we deal with it. And the way we deal with it as humans makes us who we are, makes us the character that we are. And I had a lot to get off my chest. Thankfully, Napalm Records and Ward Records in Japan allowed me to do that. And so here we go now, getting ready to release this thing on May 12th, and I'm excited.
Des, because of the personal nature of these tracks, like you said, they are so personal, talking about dealing with demons. Did that make it harder for you guys to leave those 10, 15 tracks on the table when you were working out the final cuts of Volume 1 and Volume 2?
What's great about this band is we all listen to each other. I said, when we start this process, realize when we get to the end, there's going to be 15, 20 tracks that you're never going to be able to revisit again. Everybody raised their hand and said, yep, you're right.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, let's go. And it's a great venture when everybody's on the same boat. And everybody was on the same pirate ship when I raised my hand and said, we're going to do a double record. We're going to work very hard for this. And I'm going to make sure that this is all killer, no filler. And if these were my last 2 records of my lifetime, these would stand the test of time. I think I am so proud of the musicians that played behind me on this record. That it's incredible to release it at this time right now and hear the feedback, to be honest with you.
Definitely. Look, I love both albums. I think both albums are absolutely brilliant. I was surprised that you said before that you kind of favor Volume 2. What is it about Volume 2 that you favor that little bit more?
I don't know. I mean, look, I favor Volume 1 because of the fact we took a chance and did a song like Wishing, and that's how the sequencing begins. I said, where is Wishing going to go, which is a very Sisters of Mercy, Bauhausy, gothy kind of tune. Most brands that are metal brands keep themselves like Coca-Cola. They wouldn't even dare to do something like that. Their fans would leave them in droves. So when I said to the band, what are we going to do? Where are we going to put Wishing? And Mike said, I want it on Volume 1. It's my favorite track. My wife said, it's my favorite track. And I said, okay, now let's sequence the songs around that. And what I found out is when I got to volume 2, when I got to the sequencing and everybody else is in the band sequencing, I just said to myself, this thing is the way to end a volume 1, volume 2. It's not that I like either one of them different. Look, I have 3 sons. I love them all the same. But every once in a while, you want to take that one kid somewhere else with you, you know, come on, get in the car, let's go. You know, it's just, this is the way that it goes, you know, and it's just, it's that way with dealing with demons too. There's something to it that says, if this was the last thing I ever did on earth, I could back it and be in my grave easily. And I think every piece of art that anyone makes, whether you're a painter or you're a sculptor or you're a singer, you need to think that way with the art that you put out.
Definitely. Now, what's the plans for touring with these albums? Are you hoping to do a couple of shows at least where you might be able to play all of the tracks off both albums, or what are your plans there, especially considering that, like you said before, the idea was to keep these albums short? That probably lends to being able to play both of them back-to-back live really, really well. Is that something that you're planning?
Right, so eventually we will play these records back-to-back. We will do a live stream for the world. Do I think I'll take it on tour? I'm not sure. But will we do a live stream with production and put it out for everyone to see? Yes, we will. Definitely. Or put it on video? Yes, we will. 100%. 100%. You know, you just got to watch yourself, right? There's a lot of fans that have come on 20 years ago. They want to hear the songs from the first and second record, third record, fourth record. And, you know, I always look at, you know, Metallica, let's say, right? I always look at like a Metallica show. It's like for me, there's way too many, this is back in the year, maybe 3 years ago, too many new songs in the set. So I tend to watch out, you know. Every record gets 1 to 2 tracks put in the set. That being said, I want to play this thing in its entirety. It's meant to be played in its entirety. Will we tour on it? I'm not sure. We will see.
Yeah. Des, I'm sure over the years you've had a lot of people talk to you about the fact that your music personally speaks to them, and I know that's definitely been the case for me over the years with both Coal Chamber and DevilDriver. Because of the personal nature of these 2 albums, are you prepared for more people to come up to you and say, hey mate, this album got me through a really tough time, or I know what you were talking about on this album? Are you prepared for that?
I don't think there's anything better as an artist. I really don't think there's anything better. I think people connect with me because my lyrics are real. They're street. I wish I could write about dragons, but I've never seen one.
Yep.
Or write about Viking wars, but I've never been in one. I write about the human experience, what I've gone through, and I don't think there's anything better to hear than, hey, your music got me through. I mean, I've gotten to meet some of my punk rock idols over the years, and I've said the same thing to them. You meet Pat Smear from the Germs, and you're like, your music got me through. You know, you work with Johnny Cash's son like I did, and I'm like, I'm sitting in your dad's booth, I'm singing where Johnny Cash sang in a Johnny Cash cabin, and I'm saying to Cash's son, your dad got me through.
Yeah.
And plus, I think people understand that I'm a blue-collar guy. I come from a blue-collar background. My autobiography is coming out in between June and August of this year. It's already done on Rare Bird Books, already edited, and I think people are going to get they're going to hear about me. It's a 2-book deal, and the first one is, and I'm not trying to like plug anything. I'm just going to let you know that people are going to get an inside view from my youth to Coal Chamber, and then the next book is the DevilDriver years. And my youth is like, you know, ran away from home at an early age, slept under bridges, stole food to eat, went to jail. I mean, I can't even tell you. Worked every job next to man, worked 4 jobs at one time. Like, I mean, I think the get up and go in life aspect of what I have and being a real kind of down-to-earth blue-collar guy, I think resonates with people. Plus, they don't feel ego off me because I've never attached myself to the lead singer's disease that a lot of people get. I mean, don't get me wrong, man. Look, you know, this is on the radio. I'm going to tell you now, if you give me the microphone and you're going on before me, you're going to pay the price. If you're going on after me, you're going to pay a very high price.
Yep.
But after that, I'm going to hand you the microphone, I'm going to get off stage, and I'm going to be me. And I'm going to lose all of that. A lot of people in this industry don't. So I think people connect with that. I think they connect with that. I see they see me as a real guy. I'm extremely private. I mean, I'm barely on social media. I deleted my Twitter. My management, who's my wife and looking at me right now, and my label are trying to get me to start a TikTok. And even Anastasia's been like, I don't see you doing that. I don't see you cooking or dancing on TikTok. This is stupid. We're not doing it. I want to delete all my social media.
Yeah.
But I know people want to see my dog, my cat, some of the things that I do, and I let them in. But man, it's hard for me. I'm an introvert. I'm a recluse. I'm a loner. I'm terribly private. And I'm in an industry where you're not allowed to be that.
Yeah.
You got to be there. So I think in the long answer, I think people connect with me because they see all of that, and there's nothing else to judge from other than, okay, man, he's one of us. I mean, I'd rather go home. I'd rather leave the party, go home and watch Star Wars than hang out with the egotistical guy in the corner that's on his fifth shot. I'm like, bro, get out of town.
Definitely. Well, Des, I just want to say thank you so much for being so open with us today, and thank you for so many years of great music. I know we are running out of time very quickly, so to wrap up, what would you like to say to all of your fans out there before they sit down and listen to Volume 2? And also, there would be a lot of angry people if I didn't ask this. Is there any chance we might see you guys in Australia over the next couple of years?
Yes, okay, so supposed to come to Australia. Let me give you the very short thing here is that in late 2021, I almost died from COVID.
Yeah.
It left me with heart problems. I was almost passed away. My wife was calling all my friends like, you better call Des now. And I had to take 2022 off to get myself really in shape. I couldn't even walk up my stairs. I was out of breath. It was a nightmare. I know people lost a lot of people around the world. I barely survived it. Now I have a tiny bit of inflammation in my lower heart, prevents me from taking long flights. It's why I'm not coming to Australia. That being said, I was on the phone with a promoter last night at 1 o'clock in the morning at my time, and he was saying, listen, man, you can get on a boat. Let's take a cruise over here. It'll take you 7 days. You can chill out. Now I'm thinking, okay, I might be able to come over sooner than later. So that's where that's at. And I cannot wait to tour Australia. Mike, my guitar player, as I've said, huge Australia fan. We both talked about buying a house over there and then using it off times when we're not there, when buying it together. So just so you guys know where we're coming from, you know. And over the years, it's been the place that I probably like to come the most. If you were to say, get on a 20-hour flight, I'm like, I have no problem with that, man. I get to put my phone down. I don't get to talk to him. I get to watch a couple movies, have a great meal, land in a place I love. I'm from California. You guys are a lot like where we are here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we've always been taken in so hard by you guys over the years that it's just, I can't wait to come. So, yes, I'm going to come as soon as I possibly can, man. As soon as I possibly can.
Awesome. Well, mate, thank you so much for taking the time to chat to us today. We wish you all the best of luck with your health and also for your wife as well, because I know she went through a very tough time. So I hope you are both well, and we cannot wait to see you back in Australia very, very soon.
Thank you very much, man. Anastasia, cancer survivor. I love her. She's my best friend. The family got her through. She got herself through. And if you're listening to this and you're going through cancer or a loved one is going through cancer, just use positive thinking, man, and organic foods and try to get through this with them because we went through it as a family. So I appreciate you actually bringing that up. So thank you so much. And we hope to see you soon. And when I come, I'm bringing Red with me. I'm bringing Anastasia with me. And yeah, she just said, let's go.